she got the force. She got the force.
Anakin Artz is in the building.
Yes, sir. Reject movement.
Reject. What up? What up? Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. As always, good vibes when I see both of you together.
So, you may not say that from the last time. So, no one ever really got the update. And so, basically,
oh, yeah.
When we were like, hey, Phoenix, yo, Craig, you want to go to the studio, watch my man Anakin Artz do his thing? I guess what were you laying down some extra vocals?
On
the track, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, I think it was a verse.
Was it The Force or was it I Know?
No, it was a record called Angels in the Outfield.
Oh,
okay.
Right.
Yeah, I was laying the second verse for the record.
Oh, me and Phoenix definitely Angels in the Outfield. We was lit. I was lit. I was the only angel in the outfield. I was way left. I was actually, when the outfielders hop over the wall to catch the ball, I was behind the wall. I wasn't even on the field. I was just left. I was major left.
I don't even think you knew how to get back home. You were trying to get home. You were trying to come to my house.
I don't even remember how I got back home. That shit was mad far. But we went in the studio. Phoenix, what was your experience about this dude and seeing how he works in the studio?
Well, I don't want to say like what everybody says, oh, he's professional, but no, like you could tell that he just goes in, he knows the music, he knows what he's ready to spit the bars. Definitely his work ethics are great, and it's a good vibe in that studio actually. Like,
and he knows when to tell you to get the fuck out.
Yeah,
because that's actually how we left.
That's where the work.
That's actually how we left because he was like, so I'm gonna show you this one more lyric, but. It was like 2 lines. He's like, I love you bitches, peace.
But that was the work ethics. Like, you could have just been like, yeah, hang out and have fun. But he was like, all right, you guys can stay here and this is...
That's a true story. I'm not lying about it. Am I lying about that?
You can stay here.
Nah, first off, for the listeners, I did not kick them out.
Oh, see, I forgot to do. You know what? Trump's in office now. You can say whatever you want. Kill me. Stop with the light-skinned Obama shit. Stop with the light-skinned Obama shit.
Listen.
Trump is in office. Locker room talk. Go.
For the listeners and the audience out there,
God.
They came to the studio, they vibed out, they were part of the Reject experience for like maybe...
and then we got rejected.
But
we were rejected for real.
For like 2.5 hours, but what happens is our studio is like, it's a good space, but it can be a little, if there's more than a couple bodies in there, it could be a little claustrophobic. So there was a
look at this thing. I swear I came with you. You know what? You're getting under my skin with this language. This presidential elect talk. Cut it. You need to cut it right now. I am so mad at you right now, kid.
Nah, but didn't you see other people come in right after you?
I don't know, but I remember asking you for one of those reject hats. You told me I give you that family price though.
No, you still got the family price.
No, I was kidding. No, but we appreciate it though, man. So your run has been obviously nuts, man. I mean, it's been from you dropping a couple. I mean, I was like performing the fucking sidewalks and shit. So that's the first time I saw you perform, and I was like, yo, man, this dude really got something. And I remember I hollered at Phoenix, and then people always like, oh, this guy dope. But then Phoenix like really thinks like you like real. I mean, who wouldn't? You know what I'm saying? Given what you've done, we'll say what you've been doing. We'll hold off on that real quick.
Okay.
But what do you think? What joint moved for you, man? Because I know joint was crazy, and I remember I was standing next to you, and you let me hear the joint, The Force, and I asked you about the Drake shit. I wasn't even trying to throw you shade. That's just me being friends with you.
Yeah.
What joint was it? I know it was The Force. Or what do you think really made that movement go off? But also, you invest a lot in your projects too, because I saw you in the desert somewhere making a video.
Yeah, that was in California. Yeah.
What joint do you think took off for you though?
I think at this moment, I know it's kind of like a street banger, and people are still like, they're still catching on to that. But I think The Force has something special about it that when people hear it for the first time, it catches them right away. And it also incorporates what you guys got to experience that night in the studio. Like most of my music has this cinematic feel to it, where we add different musicians and we feature them as artists on the record. So I think The Force right now, it ties into the whole Anakin thing. It ties into the whole Reject movement. It's all about, knowing that we all have a purpose. We're all chosen and destined. We all have a special force within us. And, once you embrace that, that's when you're able to pick up and keep the momentum alive and keep it moving,
Just want to rewind here. We got Anakin Artz in the building, ladies and gentlemen. 929-227-4646. Call into the Phoenix Soul Show here on FLO Empire Radio. So Reject movement, for those who are not familiar, can you? Because you explained it last episode. It's always important to get it out there. How did that come about?
Reject Dreams originally came about when I was about, I've been writing since I was about 11. So I'm 26 now, but I've been recording professionally since I was 15. And, you know, sometimes you're in the middle of a classroom and instead of paying attention with what the teacher's telling you, you're, you know, drawing or you're jotting notes in the back of the class. And what I would do is sometimes I would find like my most craziest inspirations at the weirdest times, whether it be in the back of the classroom, on the train. So Reject Dreams like derives from me, like in my head it was an image of this kid falling asleep at the desk, and even though the teacher's teaching something and giving a lecture, he's drifting off and thinking about what most people think is the impossible, you know. And now it's just, you know, 11 years later, it's grown to so much more, you know. My partners it's a community, it's a family, it's a company. We're kind of like the New Age X-Men. So not only do we have artists like myself, we have producers, engineers, fashion designers, photographers, graphic designers, all different types of, you know, mutants or rejects that do different things. And besides just music, we're in a community with events. We do curated gallery events. We do chicken and waffle brunches. We do, you know, different types.
All of which we never invited to. And Phoenix light skin. I don't know why you inviting her. Y'all both light skin. Y'all don't be at that light skin content, you know.
Wait, we got a couple events. First of all, I send you blast text message, and you're the worst with your phone.
Did you say text?
Oh yeah, Phoenix. Phoenix, let's not go there right now. All right, don't play yourself.
That might be.
Hey, by the way, I don't like blast anything. That didn't sound good. I am failing tonight at this smooth language. But okay, so can you be honest though? Like, if there was a place that you had to really, because I feel like it's getting pretty saturated right now. With well, no one's really on your level right now. Let's be honest.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
In terms of independent New York artists.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Even musically and the flow though,
it's not there.
I really haven't heard anything like it, which is a great thing because you know.
And this is what I was mentioning earlier from Bryson Tiller compared to Chris Brown. You're gonna go with the popular artists. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying how you gave Selena Gomez female artist of the year over Adele.
Yeah, that's
because you wanted to become that new advertisement dollar. You know, you wanted to be that. So So my question basically is, I got a two-part question. Do you see anybody in your fold in terms of how you trying to do it? And what venue or what place do you think in like circle you be in that could just take you to that next level, but still keep it authentic with what your style is?
I think something that we worked on for years already is, you know, celebrating diversity within our clique and our collective, and also building organically with people like yourselves. You know, most rappers will be like, yo, stop by the studio, and then they'll hit you with a date and might flake. We literally went right after the interview, and I really hold those relationships dear to my heart, like building with people one-on-one, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done and the music's out, we're in this to create the best quality and make history. But more importantly, I want to be the guy that's not put on this platform. I want to be able to be in the middle of it all and be in the field still. Like Reject is we move how we want to move. We're carving our own lane, and I think anybody who's great or anybody who has a story or a great path, you know, ahead of them, they've been rejected. You know, you take any leader from Gandhi to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Jesus Christ, if you're religious, all of them have been rejected in a lot of ways. So I think the moment that us as people, we stop following what mainstream America wants us to follow, and we have that mind of our own, and we sit there and choose what we like and what we dislike, and we bring it back to having a standard and a bar, that's when things will move in a better direction.
Cool. Shout out to Jaden, man. Jaden is watching right now, and he's a big fan of FLO Empire Radio and our show, and so shout out to Jaden who's watching this live right now.
Man?
What up, Jaden?
Yo, so Jesus. I think Jesus had. I mean, that dude was hung on a cross. That, you know, Julius Caesar stabbed. I mean, it got rough back in the day. That was some real rejection. And you know, I ain't gonna lie to you. I went to a strip club the other night.
Did you get rejected?
Yeah. No, it's the true story. I got lap dance, and the girl was like, "Oh, this costs $20 a song." I said, "A song? Oh, we gonna dance for half a song."
Wait, you got lucky. $20 is.
And you know, I was out that CC. I was out that Hennessy.
Hennessy.
It's like your boyfriend confidence said. And no, she was like, you know this ain't free. Because I tried to look at her nipples.
That was an extra $20.
That shit might have been an actual, like, get the fuck out, you're banned from this strip club.
You want to hear something really funny about my strip club experience? Since you always sound politically correct, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, please. I'm tired of the talk, man. Give it to me sober.
So keep this. I wish that I had a cameraman or somebody taking footage of this, because sometimes, like, when I go back to the rejects and explain something that went on in my personal life, they'll be like, bro, your life is really like a movie. That couldn't have happened. So I was in, remember the last time I was here for the interview, I told you I was leaving to Miami. I was on that, like, 4-city tour.
See, here's the thing. Because, you know what? I don't interview too many people in life that I'm actually friends with and I talk to off the, you know. So this is us bullshitting right now. But when I talk to you off air, it's a whole different story. But then when you get on air, you give me a whole bullshit story.
I'm telling
you give me a real story right now.
Listen, I always keep it real.
You said this, I didn't put it out there.
I always keep it real, but you like to keep it extra vulgar. So when I'm off air, I fuck around with you a little bit more. But I was at King of Diamonds. My homegirl, she works at King of Diamonds. She's a bottle girl. She invited me. She said, hey, you could come over, bring, +3. She said, I'll get you in for free. Just come out and vibe. So I said, all right, I'm not really a strip club person because I think a lot of it is a facade in a lot of ways, and I really don't believe in it too much. But I go to enjoy myself. I bring the girls I was with. I pull up to KOD with
Phoenix, you getting this on camera, right?
Yeah.
We putting this on World Star tomorrow.
So I get to KOD, and it's supposed to be the most popping night. It's supposed to be a Monday, right? So it's really slow in there. I ordered a couple drinks for me and the ladies I was with. We all vibing. My homegirl's like, yo, in order to get a table, you need to buy a bottle. I said, to be honest with you, I'm a reject. I'm not buying a bottle. I'm not buying
That's a great answer.
I'm not buying a $50 bottle for $200. So she was like, you know what? I got you. Don't worry. She gets us a table. We're right in the stage. They're doing some amazing acrobats.
Was you there that Cuban Gooding Jr. was there? He wild out? You heard about that though, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, he wild out. But go ahead.
So, long story short, we start ordering some drinks. I smoke a joint while I'm there. They allow you to smoke in the club. So as I'm smoking, I order some food. I order some chicken strips. And mind you, the fucking chicken strips in KOD are amazing. Right? So I start eating the chicken, and one of the strippers come over and sits down next to me and asks me if I'm from New York, ironically. So me and her start talking. Her name was Lotus. Shouts to Lotus.
Hey, Lotus.
No, shout out to Wild Egg.
Nah, keep this. Lotus asks for my chicken.
No.
She asks for some fries at first, and then she asks for the chicken strip. So I am not a greedy person, especially with food. Like, I will split my meal with you if you're hungry. So let's get it. We having conversation.
Oh, some chicken strips?
Some chicken strips and some fries. Now, mind you, right after we finish the meal, she sits on my lap. I didn't ask her to sit on my lap. I didn't ask her to dance, nothing. She tells me, hey, you can put your hands wherever you want. And I reply, hey, I would, but I got to get some napkins because my hands is greasy right now for the chicken. She said, don't worry about it. This is her reply. So she asks me if I want to dance.
It's better than my Harlem story.
Right? Listen, she asks me if I want to dance. And I was like, my first question is, like, I'm not going to get caught in the Matrix. Is the dance for free? She goes,
I see what you did, don't I?
She goes, no, why would you think that? And I was like, well, I was genuine enough to share my meal with you. I thought you was going to be genuine enough to dance.
I thought she was going to throw you some pussy with a chicken finger?
No, not that. I thought she was going to give me a dance and just be cool with the reject.
Anakin was trying to barter, like, all
Yo,
right,
word.
chicken, you
But
can
this
get
guy's, he's like, yo, I can tell his negotiation skills be up.
No, but
So then what happened?
It was a negotiation because she just sat down and asked for some chicken, and I was kind enough to be like, okay, even though I was super hungry. So she asked me what would make you, and that's the end of my story. But I'm like, well, I shared my meal with you. I thought you was just you sat on my lap. I thought you was just gonna hook a reject up, but there was no love for the reject.
Moral of the story is do not share your chicken at the strip club.
No, well, see, we've been talking on the show about there's a rhyme and reasoning for everything. I think this is where you went wrong. Let me take you to a course in which I teach at NYU.
Okay, go ahead.
It doesn't have a name yet. But 2 eyes, right? You have 2 eyes. A woman has 2 breasts, 2 areolas, 2 nipples. Everything's supposed to match, right?
Okay.
Right? When you see those breasts, you're turned on. But it matches because 2 and 2, right?
Yeah.
What you messed up on, you let her eat your chicken finger. You should have said, let me eat that box.
No. Definitely.
Everything is supposed to match accordingly. Fuck all that trying to caress you. No, you ate something, let me eat something. I bet you
negotiated.
feed me.
I should have negotiated
It's not
before
an
the
eye for
chicken.
an eye, a bite for a bite.
A bite for a lick.
So I should have negotiated with her before the bite of the chicken.
Any
happened.
girl that doesn't care about you getting chicken grease all over her titties clearly does not care you eating her pussy in exchange for a chicken finger. Whether buffalo, barbecue flavor, ranch, sour cream and onion, they don't care.
Oh man.
It's a wrap.
Where's this show going? Right to hell.
Welcome to the Phoenix Social, ladies and gentlemen.
This is I went off script off my light skin Obama. I gave him what he wanted. and
Thank
then
you.
took
I
him
just need
over.
that one.
Okay.
So back to the project, man. So Phoenix told me new album. New album in the works.
It's funny. Everybody who's been coming to the studio and listening to the records, they've been like, "Yo, when's the album coming out?" And
You just dropped so much material, dude.
myself and my team, like we have maybe about like that night I showed you about like 20 records.
I only remember 5.
Yeah, you was lit. But I showed you about like a good 15, 20, and we've been the way we've been making music as of recently, we've just been like in our mode and just like creating this synergy and just creating and not having like an end goal. But everybody recently has been like, yo, it sounds like an album because all the songs are kind of like...
They all like make sense together.
Exactly. So we came up with this title. We don't have a release date, but the album or the EP or the project that we're going to drop is called Kill the Robots.
Yo, you got to get that I Know joint. You got to get any of those joints.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, Kill the Robots.
Kill the Robots.
Why Kill the Robots, though?
Because what we just spoke about. You know those people that don't have a mind.
Oh, I got you.
The people who don't choose Adele because she's high quality but they need a new face.
But see, that can play against you, too, because I was just about to say you should get your joints played up in, like, strip clubs and all that. But, but they're all robots, though.
Not always. Not always. I think
The strippers are not robots.
the strippers are the ones.
Strippers are robots.
Nah.
Strippers are kind of robots.
In
They're real thoughts.
the strippers' defense, they're the one who decide the music. So if they hear something that night that's played by a DJ that they're unfamiliar with, if they like it enough, they're gonna go back to the DJ and say, "Hey, I want to hear the force again."
What if you, like, can I see the I Know joint?
Mm-hmm.
I think the I Know joint is a better strip club song than The Force. You know what I mean?
I think they
Would
both
you-
could work.
Now, I don't know how KOD works, but strippers are charging you 20 for a song. Are you paying for your own music? Would you ever let a stripper give you a dance to your own song? I'd be like, Ike Turner, like, I made this song.
Wait, so would I throw money at her while my song?
Yeah, while you're just giving you a lap dance, because that's...
I would only because somebody's supporting my hustle as the music playing, so I'm gonna support her.
All right.
You feel what I'm saying?
So are those 2 joints going to be in a new, like, the upcoming album, The Robot?
Yeah, maybe. We haven't decided a final track list. I know The Force definitely is, because it was kind of created in that same time frame. I know it definitely works with everything else that we've been creating recently, so I'm sure of it. But we have a ton of tracks that
I think you and Phoenix got to do a song together.
I'm with it. Whenever you want to set a date, like come by to the studio
Well,
again.
I think we're gonna make that happen. I think it's gonna be interesting.
Very hip
But
hop.
damn good.
All right, well, 929-227-4646 if you want to vouch for me to get on either one of these songs, because I'm a great lyricist. Even better hip-hop artist, R&B artist, but I strive in all things.
Actually, remember that time at the studio where actually did a skit, or we tried to actually.
It was terrible.
But
It's
yeah,
just sad that we
it
need to
was
do
just-
it over again.
I don't
It
think
was the worst.
You probably were better than me. I mean, I was just like, oh. This is
No,
not for
actually,
me.
I was lit. I think I fell asleep at the mic, like, okay, I'm woke. Like, no pun intended. No pun intended. All right, man, so listen.
Let's get into a joint.
Let's get into the joint. And I know joint.
That's the one we're gonna play.
I
right now.
know.
Yeah, let's play that first and then
Mean.
we'll play the
So let's let Anakin introduce I Know.
Okay.
And by the way, and actually, like your whole career, if you make no other song again, I Know in the Forest, you can live off that.
Oh, thank you,
You be
man.
straight.
Thank you. Well, this right here is I Know, produced by Benjamin Bradley. Yeah, hope you enjoy. It's Anakin Artz, Reject Dreams. Yeah.
FLO Empire Radio.
Dab on them.
Woo!
Welcome back to the Phoenix Soul Show on FLO Empire Radio.
Woo! We got it. We're in a zone right there.
Zone, you can let this whole
Zone.
thing go, man. Listen, when Drake opened up Apple Radio and it just went off, when he dropped that whole new album, Views, you know, shout out to my man Zane Lowe, but it went off here on FLO Empire Radio. That was too much in the zone right there, right? Sorry, that was geeky journalism right there. But, like I said, you let that whole joint go. The thing with this guy right here, Anakin Artz, we know he's been saying, you know, I've done lots of songs, he went off, da-da-da. But you just recently, 20 minutes before you got to the studio, got a bing from Revolt.
Yeah, Revolt just posted the record. Shouts to everybody from Revolt TV. Yeah, they just posted the record on their website and their blog. Well, their website. It's not really a blog, but yeah, it was literally right before I was heading out the crib, headed here. So
That's crazy too, because
Blessing.
joints, man, blessing what? Because cats out here now, Phoenix, you know, as an artist, and we've had artists here. I'm not saying names, but some artists gotta pay to get their stuff in certain hands.
yeah, I don't.
In publications, you know.
Yeah, I don't believe in that because I feel like, you know, the people who really rock with your vision, your movement, your music, those people, like, okay, you're a journalist, right? So your job is to write about new talent, is to find new talent. And I think when like-minded individuals come together and they find something new, something refreshing, you know, it's like a breath of fresh air, then those people, like, them finding you and you finding them, it's an even exchange. You know, and I'm not saying, like, oh, I'm bringing, like, 1 million more people to Revolt, but it's just, like, now they have another artist from New York that they can be one of the first people to say, hey, we knew about Anakin before a lot of other people knew.
And just to give people, you know, a little musical snack. I'm light on this language tonight. I'm real sketchy about this language tonight. Musical snack. All right, so for artists who like just now come out and they think they should be shining, you know, I mean, you put work in to even get up to the Revolt point.
Yeah.
What was that experience like when like you just like, yo, they just hit me up, and what you think? What's the first thing you thought about when you first trying to get to that level?
Man, it's like, you know, when things like this happen, it's very spiritual for me because it's been 11 years that I've been professionally recording, putting music out, and, you know, like, I really believe in making everybody a believer one by one. You know, one person, you know, I tell my, like, partners and rejects all the time, like, bro, in all honesty, I feel like every follower I have, I kind of came across literally, like, personally, or they know somebody that I came across personally. And I feel like, you know, every time there's a moment, like, it's like a timeline of these different moments that lead to different turning points in my career and my life. And not only for me, but for the people that are with me as well and the people I'm speaking for. You know, and I think these moments kind of like make you really appreciate the grind and the restless nights in the studio and just being at the events and traveling out, planting seeds different places. And I think it's moments like this, like waking up and heading out to a radio interview but then getting a look from Revolt, is those moments that make you say, you know what, every moment that I didn't sleep and I grinded for this and everything that I sacrificed is worth it.
I mean, let's be honest though, because I really feel like the sheet of ice in the North Pole is covered with whack ass rappers. But underneath that ice keeps that whole body of water flowing with the consistency of what that ice takes to be frozen, but they're living off you.
Ooh, you getting deep.
That's deep.
I told y'all, get me back in that studio.
Kill the
Flames.
Robots,
My
2017.
New rap name, Flames.
Hey.
You just spell it FLAME.
No S.
Nah. It just sound like it because I got flames. But like, no, back to that question because, I mean, how do you feel like that? Because I feel like a lot of publications now, man, you know, I love this source, I do. I love Revolt, I do. They're for the culture. But what are they doing to get that body of water up there to take over that fucking ice? Because it needs to happen.
Yeah, I think we're, you know, so let's talk about where hip hop derives from. You know, like it derives from very like cultural things. You know, b-boying, graffiti. You know, DJing, like MCs. Back when we didn't call rappers, we called them MCs. You know, and I think that there has to be more people like that that's fighting for the culture and for a purpose. And I think what happens is whenever there's this big culture shock or this big movement of something and money starts to get involved, then there starts to become this saturation of, you know, different things that come into the fold. And then, you know, being in the industry and seeing the behind the scenes sometimes is not the same thing we receive as perception on TV. So certain people's claim to fame is not going to be the same as mine or yours. It's not going to be, you know, interning, trying to get.
Nobody's doing that no more.
You feel
that whole
intern. There's no more internships.
Yeah, there's nobody going to internships, putting that time in, becoming this, that, and that.
There really aren't
Nobody's
even
doing
A&Rs
that
anymore. I mean, it's, you know, artists really got to develop themselves and really push their records on their own.
I would say there's a lot less of it. There's very few, but
and it pisses the OGs off because they feel like guys like yourself not working hard enough for the opportunity, but the whole system changed.
But that's the blessing with my career thus far. We had a lot of moments where we've been, you know, blessed to get validation, no pun intended, validation and confirmation from the OGs first, you know, from dudes like Enough, dudes like Rosenberg, you know, like.
Well, see, Rosenberg's a hip hop head though, so.
You know, people that really believe in quality music.
But see, this is what Kanye was talking about, in that they're real dudes in certain situations that know of real music, but they get paid to play. If you remember Rosenberg going after Nicki Minaj for the Starship album, she didn't want to perform at a certain event because he said that. She didn't take that too kindly. So it's these dudes who know of this music, but they don't let it out that seal hole, man.
So you're saying people who play dumb just to make everybody happy, but really they have dope records?
At FLO Empire Radio, if I tune in, if I go home right now, like what time? Like 7:45, at least before I watch porn, because that's very important. But after that, I hear songs I never heard, and I come to producer like, yo, Dave, who was that fuck Trump song? Yo, that's YG. Or who is it? You know, they're letting, you know, certain stations don't let records like that breathe. They're gonna hit you over the head with, you need to cut it. Like, we get it, OT Genesis, we get it. But
kill the robots, man. You gotta literally be a leader. If you're a young A&R on one of these record labels, if you're a radio personality in one of these, in a big station, whatever your position is, that's how people are gonna remember you. If you ever hear like Diddy, you know, talk about his stories about when he first started to come up and intern, like, the dude was reckless.
He was reckless.
Borderline
reckless.
But he fought for what he was believing in. You got dudes like Dame Dash. You got you got a bunch of these pioneers and people who paved the way for a lot of the bigger artists of history. Forget about just this generation. But these people, somewhere along those lines, they say, you know what? I don't really care if I lose my job because I believe in this enough.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna piss you off. I love Empire, but that dude, young Lil Yaz.
I don't watch the show. I'm not familiar.
Yaz, the dude, one of the dudes on there was a rapper.
You talking about the guy with the broccoli suit? Little Yachty?
No. He's actually an actor on the show Empire, but he has an album coming out. But no, they never gave him any love either. But that's rightfully so.
I'm not familiar. I don't watch Empire. I watch Atlanta though. Childish Gambino.
Oh, he's done. That's nuts.
That's dope.
That's
dope
nuts.
That show. I love it.
Yeah. And what's dope about that show is that they, at all the hotspots that they use for that actual TV show, are all the hotspots that you can actually go to Atlanta
and go to. That's real.
And then the one chicken wing spot that they had in one scene in the show, the numbers quadrupled in business. So Childish Gambino.
Yeah, and when I watch that show is a reality of how certain people perceive rappers, the grind and the hustle, how he's literally like don't got $10 in his pocket to get on the bus, but he's managing this artist who got hype. And a lot of artists out here, they want the hype before they want actual money.
It's so
or
ridiculous.
they have hype, and then when you meet them, they might not have $5 to get on a train, which is crazy to me. And I think that's kind of like a backwards way of thinking. We need to start putting our destiny within our own hands.
That's what's that's what's really crazy to me because when I heard Birdman say like, well, I saw Young Thug on TV once and man, just seeing him filming not TV but just filming a video, I knew he was it. But then, like Hannibal Buress, comedian, straight interview in one magazine said, you know what, man, people kept telling me I was dope, but I was sleeping on the train every night. But then somebody like Young Thug comes off and gets off because of how he was able to swag it out in the video. That's what I feel is discrediting the rappers that are under that, North Pole ice. Like, yo, we don't need to be under this bullshit.
Definitely not. We gotta kick the doors down. You see people literally out here mobbing in these streets. People are now understanding that their voice and the tool for expression is very powerful. And I think once people realize that, then they'll stop settling for the bullshit. They don't want McDonald's no more. They want Peter Luger's. They want the most finest quality they can get because you deserve it. If you work hard enough, you deserve it. So I feel like once you start thinking that way, then people who are like-minded like that start aligning themselves with you, and then from there it's just powers and numbers.
And that's that Force, Phoenix. I know you want to play that joint.
I do want to play that.
That Force.
I am going to play, but we're getting close to that time where we got to close up shop because we got Kerry's Corner coming up next. But
and he's literally on the corner right now.
He really is at the
corner. He just walked on the corner. He's in the building.
But before I play this joint, I definitely want you to plug in all your social media where they can find you. And I know you have tracks on iTunes where people can actually go there and purchase them.
Yep.
Please do so because he's a great artist and it's worth every penny. I know I've bought a couple of joints off iTunes.
Thank you.
So if I could do it and I can get free shit, why don't you do it?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, you can find all content, whether it be music-related events, everything on rejectdreams.com. That's spelled all correctly. And if you want to follow me on any social media, at Anakin Artz, ARTZ, on Twitter, at Anakin Artz, Facebook, Anakin Artz. I'm on iTunes, Tidal, Spotify, so, Apple Music, all that stuff. If you don't have the dollar to purchase the music, you can get it on SoundCloud, come out to an event, vibe with the Rejects, and this is, we're about to play The Force, but watch out for that music video, because we just
I saw the sword.
Ooh,
is it the music video for The Force?
Yes, it's coming out in a few weeks, and it's honestly...
No, I mean, wait, when I said that, I am so light on language. When I said I saw the sword, pause. Pause. Fuck.
A lightsaber.
Man, a lightsaber. I gotta get more technical with this language. I saw the sword.
It's all
I
good.
saw the Force.
It's the
Fire Radio, Monday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Reject.
This might be a short song too, man.
I didn't choose, yeah. Bitches I chose, yeah. I didn't choose, yeah. Bitches I chose, yeah.
You been distant, I've been gone. I've been drifting, you been rogue. Dipped in Visvim, you belong. Center stage or centerfold. Strike a pose when you in that Vogue. We treat Brooklyn like it's wrong. You got game, I got game. Now ball and chain like the bitch in my own. Bitch, I'm still vicious, I'm a sex pistol. Grabbing the gap and get your mind blown. Baby, just know, I got the force. Penelope, I'm Johnny Depp with the blow. Using your nose to measure the blow. Using your tongue to write all your wrongs. Write out the lyrics to all of my songs. Back in my mall, bottle Patron. We in that killer, yeah, she a killer. I don't believe that you swallow the worm. I don't believe that you swallow your pride. It's hidden inside, behind all the curves. Haters get curved, bitches get curved. No love for them bitches, I give you my word. Haters get served, bitches get served. No love for them bitches, I give you my word.
I didn't choose, I was chose, yeah.